Well, hello guys. This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl back with another great video for you today. And tonight I have a special guest joining me for show and tell. We have Dawn from the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. And I've been very excited about this show and tell because we get to see some doggies as well as some really cool vintage collections. So welcome, Dawn.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad you are here. So tell our audience just a little bit about yourself and what you do at the Just One More Dachshund Rescue.
Sure. Well, let's see. I have had dachshunds my entire life. I think the first picture of me holding a dachshund, I was maybe 2 years old. So both my mom's family and my dad's family had them. So it's definitely in my blood. And I started the rescue almost 3 years ago. And I work full time. But I do the rescue kind of on the side. I guess you can't really say on the side because it is kind of a full-time job too. But I pull dogs from, or mostly dachshunds from area shelters, and sometimes owners who can't care for their dogs anymore. I'll help them out and take the dogs. I've got one on my lap here. I'll show you. This is Miss Lottie.
Hi, Lottie.
She is 13 years old. And I just rescued her just about 2 weeks ago, and she's already lost 2 of her canines. Her teeth are really rotten, and she's got a mass on her chest. I don't know if you can see it here. So kind of a little tumor there, and she's never been spayed. So even though she's 13, we're going to go ahead on the 22nd. We're going to do a dental. We're going to spay her, and we're going to remove that mass and do a biopsy. I took her to the vet, and her heart is really good, so there won't be any issues, hopefully, with putting her under anesthesia. And the reason we want to spay her, even though she's 13, is dogs who are not spayed can develop, I think it's called pyometra, and their uterus gets really, really infected. So it actually could be fatal. So we don't want that to happen to her because she's a sweetheart. And I already have a home for her. So someone, one of my supporters, fell in love with her and met her when I was at the vet. And so after her surgery, she's going to go to her forever home. So she's a sweetheart.
She's stealing the hearts of everybody in the chat this morning. Proud American is loving the dogs, and so is Jennifer and my Free Market Treasures and everyone else in the chat. We have Angela joining us tonight, and Karen Radford, and Helen, and Benny, and Carrie, and Linda from Michigan. I think Tontic, you're Katie, right? I think I remember that. And then Patrick's joining in, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, Sharon. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Yes, we definitely applaud you, Dawn, because you do some amazing work, and those dogs need your care. And I know a lot of people wouldn't be willing to take something like this on because I know each dog definitely has a lot of expenses. So I know that's definitely something that you and Patrick will be working on soon. Is that right?
Yes. So last year, Patrick from Trusty Huckster Mercantile had a fundraiser for me. And I know Patrick because he used to work in Maryland with me in my paying job. And last year, so he did a fundraiser last November, and we raised like $3,600, I think, which was amazing because of COVID, all the fundraisers and events were canceled. So it was really hard for nonprofits to raise money. And so he graciously said that he was going to do it again this year. And his goal is $5,000, which would be amazing.
That would be amazing. And I know that our community can definitely help out and do this. And he did some mystery boxes last year, and that was a big success. And Kim got all the mystery boxes at Overstitch. It was fun watching her do the unboxings of those. So I think it will be fun to see what Patrick does this year. And I have linked Dawn's channel, her website down below. So if you guys want to help in any way or reach out to Dawn, you can definitely do that. So let's see. You have a few other doggies that want to be on camera?
So I'm going to put her down, and she'll probably cry. because literally since she came into this house, she wants to be in my lap all the time. So
Oh,
we
well,
put
you
her
can come
down.
back. I promise you can come right back. Diane's joining us, and Pamela Blanchard, and Krista, and Cindy. So thanks, so guys, saying thank you so much for tuning in tonight, folks. And if you do have questions for Dawn during the show and tell, please feel free to jot them down in the chat. Let me get my words together. Drop them in the chat. And who do we have here, Dawn?
So this is Prince, and Prince is one of our sanctuary dogs, and so he is about almost 15, I think. Rescued him a couple years ago, and he is kind of a grumpy old man, and he doesn't have a lot of teeth. I don't know if he's got a couple of teeth, but actually right now his teeth are really really bad. What he's got left, so he's going in for a dental tomorrow because his gums have been bleeding and
Oh,
his breath is really really bad. But we're gonna get that taken care of tomorrow. So
oh, you're going to feel so much better about
yeah,
when you get done with that.
he sleeps most of the time. He was an older one that I rescued, and it's really hard to find people to take in older dogs. I actually fell in love with older dogs. One of my friends runs Sugarface's Senior Dog Rescue, and before I started my rescue, I rescued 5 dachshunds through her rescue. So they kind of touch my heart, and I love the seniors. So Prince is a sweetie. He's stinky right now, but he's a sweetheart.
But we love them anyway because they're so cute and they all need love and they all need care. And he is just darling.
He wants to go back to sleep.
And I see all the old guys have bad breath. The difference is that he is so cute.
He
Yes.
is cute.
He's so cute. And all of the dogs that you have, Dawn, are just so adorable. And
Well,
it's great that you're taking them in. Now, how do you typically go about finding folks to be their forever home?
well, I recently just let's see, my Facebook page. I recently just hit the 1,000 mark, so I've got 1,000 people following my page,
Oh,
and
good.
yeah, and I I've got adoption applications on my website, and it is actually up to date. I've got all the available dogs on there. So um, a lot of people have found me through word of mouth. I'm kind of the crazy dachshund lady of Southern Maryland. When there's a dachshund that needs to be rescued, I get tagged multiple times. So I'm kind of the go-to person for dachshunds. But I have a relationship with a lot of our area shelters. Just One More Dachshund Rescue is an approved shelter. So we work with, like I said, probably about at least a half a dozen shelters in Maryland. And shelters are wonderful because they do a lot of the shots and stuff for the dogs. So that's an expense that I don't have to worry about. So, and actually recently, I think he's in the other room, but I rescued a Chiweenie named Spike, and he had a huge tumor on his leg. And the shelter vet actually removed it. And then the friends group of the shelter paid for the biopsy. So it turned out it is cancer. He's about 5.5 years old, but we're still going to find him a good home. I've got somebody interested in him. So hopefully he'll come out. He's been sleeping all day too.
Well, that's so good that you've taken them to the vet, you get their care, and that you
Mhm.
have someone that wants to take that guy
Yeah. Yeah. And if I can't find them a home, they always have a home with me.
in. Now, do most people live in the Maryland area, or do you have people that come from all over for some of your dogs?
So the majority are Maryland, but I've got an adopter in West Virginia, Illinois, because I'm from Illinois, and Wisconsin. But the rest are Maryland.
We have a great question coming in from Helen. She said she saw your Facebook page and you're getting a new dog tomorrow. So, what can you tell us about the newbie?
So this dog, my local shelter, which I'm on the board of, they actually called me yesterday and said that they had a 40-pound dachshund So when I was a kid, I had a 35-pound dachshund, and let me tell you, that's pretty
Wow.
big. So they sent me pictures, and he doesn't look like a mix. He really looks like a standard dachshund, but he's 13 years old. Teeth are a mess, cataracts, and his owner was having some health issues, so couldn't take care of him anymore, so surrendered him to the shelter. So the shelter called me, and I'm a sucker for the old ones, so I said yes. So I'm going to get him tomorrow.
Oh, now is that typically the biggest issue you see with dachshunds? Is the teeth
The
and the
teeth.
eye issues?
Yeah, teeth, especially, well, backs also, but teeth. Most small dogs have issues with teeth because, they have the same number of teeth as like a big dog, but their mouth is smaller, so the teeth are closer together. So it's inevitable that they're going to lose some teeth. And then dachshunds, because of their body, the way that they're built, with the long backs, they tend to have back issues too. So you want to be careful. You don't want them to do steps, no jumping. So my house is full of dog ramps and doggy steps.
My aunt has two dachshunds, long-haired dachshunds, Remy and Reese, and I know that when I cared for them, when they would go out of town, it was really hard getting them to not jump on the sofa because they really like to do that, but I know
Yeah.
it's not good for their backs.
Yep.
And Carrie's saying, "Oh, you aren't getting a wiener, you're getting a bra."
Yeah, seriously.
And I agree, proud American. He said, the joy these animals give us is priceless, so it's worth every penny. I'm
It
sure you
definitely
would
is.
agree.
Hmm.
So, what other dogs do you have nearby that you can show us? Because I think we're all just enjoying how cute these little fellas are.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you Sherman. So Sherman is actually
Oh,
he was rescued from Sugar Faces. So he's my personal dog.
Sherman. I remember Sherman.
Yeah. So Sherman
Oh,
is a TV star. Sherman was, he was on Animal Planet's Dog Bowl 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It was Dog Bowl 2. Which it's similar to Puppy Bowl, which is on Super Bowl Sunday. Dog Bowl is on the day before, and it was started to bring awareness to adopting older dogs. So Sherman tried out for Dog Bowl, and he was accepted. So he played on the field, and he ended up getting 2 or 3 touchdowns. I can't remember.
yay, Sherman.
Yeah, and so then he became the MVP. So then the following year, Animal Planet invited us back, and he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So,
Oh,
and he's had a spread in Modern Dog Magazine, and he also there used to be a Dachshund festival here in Maryland, and he won Best in Show there a couple of years ago. So.
oh, Sherman, you're a star. You're that, buddy.
He's got some issues too. He's got a heart murmur, and he's around 15. Really bad arthritis. Got a dry eye, so he's got to have drops. And we just did some blood work, and he's actually anemic, so he's on some meds to try to get his red cell count up higher.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sherman, but you're in the right place. You're getting all the care you need. And I see there's some questions coming in here.
Sure.
Helen is asking if they all sleep with you.
Oh my gosh, they don't all sleep with me. I would say I think there's 8 or 9 that sleep in the bedroom with me, and a couple of them sleep in dog beds on the floor. There's probably 6 in bed with me, and then some. I personally adopted 3 puppies during COVID. 2 of them are special needs, so the puppies sleep in crates, and then I've got some of the dogs sleep in like X pens, big pens. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Louie sleeps with me, and I have to admit, she gets all of the bed and leaves
Yeah,
me.
I have a king size bed, and I get about this much space.
I love your Dachshund shirt. I think
Oh,
that
thank you.
I am preparing for the show tonight. I was like, I thought I had a dachshund pin or a brooch, but I don't.
That's
So,
why I
in
was
honor of you, the closest thing I have is a poodle. Now, it's not quite a dachshund, but I've got my grandmother's poodle brooch on tonight in honor of the show.
well, I wore the hat in your honor, and then I put the pins on it.
Aw, thank you, Dawn. I love that. And yes, rescues are the best dogs ever. I
They
agree. My
are.
mom was a rescue, and it's just Riley's wonderful. So I know that you've shown some dogs and you
Mhm.
have the rescue, but you also collect vintage, and I think that's really, really neat.
I do. I don't even. I started collecting dachshund things, I guess, years ago. So I have. I think everything I buy now is dachshund. So if I want dishes, it's got to have a dachshund, or a dish towel, or a cup. Everything has to have dachshunds on it. So I pulled some of the things that I've been collecting to show you.
That's very exciting. I think it's so unique that you find vintage items that have dachshunds on them because you typically just don't find things with dogs specifically to a breed of dog. Usually they're all poodles or something like that. And I think that's really a great collection for you.
Yeah, it's always a score when I find something. I love it.
So where do you find most of your collections?
um, the older things, like in antique shops or thrift stores, or once in a while, like on eBay. I did just get something. I'll show you this. This was from eBay. Um, this I got a couple weeks ago. I don't even know how I discovered these, but it's they come in different sizes, and it's a decanter. So I
Oh,
think
that's so neat.
that they're made in Italy, and they have I've seen them in blue, amber, this green, and then like a purple. So I'm on the hunt now to find the other colors. But I just thought that was kind of neat.
Those are really neat. And you said that they're from Italy?
Italy, yeah. I
That
guess
is really neat.
I guess that I've seen some with the actual labels on them, so I guess they put wine in them. It must have been a promotion.
That makes sense. Wine, obviously, coming from Italy. And I like that they're different colors because you can
Yeah,
line them up in a window. And when the
yeah.
light
That's
comes through,
exactly
it
what I want to do. Yep.
just be fabulous. And Logan's joining us, the Ventique Scavenger. He said that he's a doxy dad. So he is so here for the show and tell. Well, thank you, Logan, for tuning in. So, what other neat things do you have? Oh, we got a
So
little.
she wants on my lap. So this is one of my puppies that I just rescued myself. She's actually deaf. So she's, you can see she's almost white. So she's a double dapple, which is the result of irresponsible breeding. So she's got some vision impairment, and she's also deaf. But she's a sweetie. Her name is Penny Lane, and she's going to be spayed tomorrow.
So, you've got several dogs going in for procedures
I
then.
do. I've got two going in tomorrow and one going in next week.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Doppel and what that means on the dachshund?
Sure. So you don't want to, well, dapple is, I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's just like multiple, it's a gene, and it determines the color pattern, but you don't want to breed a dapple dog to another dapple because that results in a double dapple. And then you have issues with vision and hearing. So she's deaf. I mean, yeah, she's deaf. And then Abby, who's sleeping, she's another one I just rescued. She is blind, but
Oh, she's so sweet. She
oh my
loves
gosh,
cooking.
she's
Oh, she's excited to be on
she
camera.
is funny. She'll wake up in the middle of the night and just jump on me and start kissing me.
Oh, now,
They're very entertaining.
so there's several different. Is colorway the correct terminology for different dogs?
There's different color patterns. So there's piebald, which I think my piebald boys are in the basement. So that's like white with either black or tan, uh, I guess not taking patterns, I guess, on it. Um, and then Lottie was just a black and tan. Sherman, his coat is called Wild Boar. Um, Prince was a silver dapple, so he's got gray and black and tan and a little bit of white.
Beautiful, just beautiful. I love the different colors, and he's just so cute. Everyone's loving him in the chat. You love that you're giving kisses. You are just a little star on camera. So where did you get him?
So this is it's her. She's learning, yeah, Penny Lane. She actually came from Ohio, an Amish breeder. And there's a lady in Pennsylvania who rescues the dapples, because a lot of times if the dog is blind or deaf, it's not going to make money. So a lot of times they'll put the dogs down. And so she has a relationship with these breeders where she'll take the dogs and, save them. And she, gets the vetting and stuff and then puts them up for adoption. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, is she named after the Beatles song, Penny Lane?
So her name was Penny, and I decided I could call her anything since she's deaf. But I think I like Penny Lane, and because I had adopted Abby before her, and I figure Abbey Road and Penny Lane.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So adorable. I really like that. Now, do any of your other dogs have names that are kind of themed, or because most of them come to you, they already have names?
It depends on the name, I guess, and the dog. For a lot of the ones that come into the rescue, I'll change the names. But I have ones I get from the shelter that are strays. They don't know their names. So one of mine is Rosalita, and she's named after a Bruce Springsteen song because Bruce Springsteen is my favorite. So that's Rosalita. I have a Frankie who's also a Bruce Springsteen song. I've got Rigatoni. That was his name when I got him, so I kept that. I've got Tucker. That was his name. Let's see. Murphy. That was his name. Finnegan. He's one of the ones in the rescue.
Oh, what a cute name.
Yeah, I just have to meet the dog before I can decide.
Oh, absolutely.
He definitely looks like a Finnegan. And he's downstairs sleeping, but I did a DNA test on him because the shelter said that he was a Corgi, and he's got short legs, but he's kind of big. So he's actually not Dachshund. He's Basset, Pug, miniature Schnauzer, Chow, and then a bunch of other stuff.
So, wow, that is quite the mix there.
Yep, he's really, really smart, but he's definitely young, and he's getting some training right now because he's a wild boy, but very sweet.
Now, does he have the short nose like pugs do?
No, his nose it's not as long as a dachshund's. His head almost looks like a lab, so it's almost kind of a square, and he's just different looking. He's on my website if people want to check him out.
That's adorable. Now, will you adopt some of these dogs out of state, or I think I had asked a little bit about this earlier, but
so Finn, sure, I definitely would, because he's so young. Lottie, well, she has an adopter, but she's going local. A lot of times, if they're like Spike, who's the Chiweenie that had cancer, he's only 5.5, and I would like to follow up with my vet in about a year and do blood work again. So I would help whoever adopted him with that. So I'd kind of like to keep him local.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I see Helen's asking, how many dogs do you have now?
So there are 19 here now, and 14 are my own personal dogs.
Oh,
but I went a little crazy during COVID.
There's nothing wrong with being surrounded by dogs because that just brings so much happiness. Hi, Tiger. Thanks so much for joining. Tiger had a sale today, and Tiger, I'm sorry I missed your sale. There's just a lot happening, but I will go back and rewatch. So, welcome, Tiger. So it's so neat to see these dogs, and I can't get over how cute they are. They just melt in my heart.
And nobody's barked yet.
That's amazing, and I'm surprised Louie hasn't barked yet. 'Cause the sprinklers are going off, and usually she gets nuts when the sprinklers go off in our building. So, can you show us a few other things that you started
Sure.
collecting that are Dachshund related?
Put Penny down. So I don't know how this is going to show up on the screen, but I found this. Sorry, hang on. Can you see that?
Oh, I can. How fun is that?
So I found that. I don't want to be in the way. That was on a yard sale site on Facebook a couple years ago. I don't know how old it is, but I just thought it was so neat.
It's really fun. I've never seen a lighted Dachshund sign before.
Yeah, definitely different.
It really is different. I would imagine that Facebook Marketplace can be a really good tool for finding some related things.
For sure.
And do you ever just go on eBay and type in vintage Dachshund? And see
yes. More times than I should.
Now, I'm really curious about that little yellow Dachshund that you have behind you on the counter.
This?
Yes.
So, this is one of, there's 3 in the set. It's kind of heavy, but I guess it's a planter, but guess what it's holding? Is Patrick here? It's holding coasters. Dachshund coasters.
How did you manage to find Dachshund coasters?
Oh, God, I've got a lot of them. If there's a Dachshund on something, I will find it.
So it was really neat seeing what you picked up online that came from Italy earlier. Do you have any other glass Dachshund items in your collection?
I do. So this one I just got not too long ago, and this is vintage, and I don't know what it is. I did a little bit of research, and people said that it was to put like hors d'oeuvres in. There's little holes to hold toothpicks, but then there's a bigger hole on the end of it. So I'm not really sure what it is.
I don't know what that would be used for, but it's just interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat.
He is neat, and I love the glaze on him.
Yeah. And then, let's see.
Patrick's saying, thumbs up for coasters. That's right. You can never have too many coasters, Patrick.
So these, I don't know how old these are, but they're bookends. They were not in the best of condition. And when I got them, they actually came, the leg and the tail was broken. So I had to glue them together. But I don't know. I thought they were kind of neat.
That is neat. And it kind of tells a story in a sense because you rescue and save dachshunds and save these bookends and glued them back together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are really fun. Are they made out of ceramic or chalk?
It feels like resin. So I guess they're not that old. I think it's resin.
And Carrie's asking on the big dachshund you just showed with the little holes, is there a cork at the bottom?
I don't think so, but let me double check. No, but there's 2
Interesting.
holes.
Maybe that's how they put him in the kiln so he wouldn't blow up.
And I don't see any markings on it.
That's just a really unique piece. But if you had a party for your rescue, you could definitely put little hors d'oeuvres in it.
Put little cocktail wieners on there.
Yes. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be so cute? So about how many dachshund items do you think that you have in your collection, Dawn?
Oh my gosh. In the hundreds, I would say.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely in the hundreds.
And what is your favorite piece in your collection?
So my favorite piece, I couldn't show. Whoops. I guess it was last year. I found the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. So it was on Facebook Marketplace, and it's a little pedal car, but it's upstairs and it's on top of an armoire, and it's really heavy. So I didn't bring that down, but that's my favorite thing.
Oh, that's amazing. I actually follow the guy this year now. I think they rotate guys that drive the
Mm-hmm.
Wienermobile. That's hard to say. But I follow him and he travels the country. He's on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok and he shares his adventures. And they have to eat so many hot dogs being in that line of work because they do cookouts and they pull up to random places and people have been suggesting different hot dog flavors for him. Some of them are really weird, but it's kind of fun watching that. So do you have a few other things in your collection, Dawn,
Yep.
to
So
show?
this is kind of neat. And again, I don't know how old this is. I don't think it's very old, but it's a nutcracker, and it is from Germany, and it's got a little dachshund on the front of it.
Oh,
So I thought that was kind of cute.
now dachshunds, I don't know where they originate from. So can you tell us a little
Germany.
bit about that?
Yep. They're from Germany, and dachshund means badger dog. So they were bred to hunt badgers. Uh, so they're definitely diggers. They like to get in the mud and dig in the dirt and chase or dig for moles or anything.
So that would make a lot of sense as to why they put a dachshund on a German nutcracker, which I think
Mm-hmm.
is really fun. That's definitely a one of a kind item you're not going to see anywhere else. Now, you get a lot of your pieces, you said, from Facebook Marketplace and from eBay. Now, do you have any to show from an antique store that you got?
Is Patrick considered an antique store?
I would consider Patrick an antique store.
Okay, so these are from Trusty Huckster. This is a planter, I guess. So it's Napco.
Oh, Napco ware. How fun.
So I think it's a planter. That's what it looks like. Oh, there we go.
My gosh. Look at those dogs. Again, that's amazing.
And then Patrick showed this, I think, on one of his, I don't know if it was a preview, but I messaged him. I had to have it. So I don't know what this is called, but it's kind of, this is like sort of sparkly. I don't know if it's like sand or something.
Like maybe like sand art.
Yeah, maybe. But I think it's from maybe the 70s.
I love the turtle. I just think the turtle with the sparkly collar on the dachshund is so fun.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
That is just such a neat piece. And I'm going to have to be on the lookout now for dachshund things for you. I
got one thing that I found at an antique store. I don't know if you can see that. It is Moldenhauer, Moldenhauer. So this particular one, I think, is 1921, 1922.
That is amazing. You typically don't see specific breeds on things that early, I have found. So it's amazing when you can find things that are that old.
And I love that. I just think it's so pretty, and it's got markings on the bottom.
Oh, I love him.
But it's got, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Dawn.
Oh, it's got the like dachshunds a lot of times have this kind of a point on the top of their head. So it's just the detail to the breed standards, I guess, is kind of neat.
That is really amazing because a lot of those Japan pieces too, you don't find sometimes with a lot of detail. Sometimes there's you wonder like, what is this? And sometimes with Dawn, it's funny when we're in chats, we're all trying to identify what do we think this is, you know? So that is really, really neat. I was going to ask, how do you store most of your collection? Do you just have it all magically throughout your house, or do you use curio cabinets?
I have a barrister bookcase that has that was I think it was my great aunt's. And so that's got a bunch of dachshund stuff in it. My bathrooms are dachshund decorated. So I've got dachshund shower curtains and towels, and there's just dachshund stuff everywhere.
Oh, how fun. Now, did you start collecting the dachshund items because you started the rescue, or did you start collecting them long before you even had the rescue?
Oh, long before. Yeah, long before, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, Peterson, I do too. I want a barrister bookcase. I'm on the hunt for one. That will be a project in the future. I keep seeing them, but they're pretty expensive in our antique stores here. So I'm excited about that. And I see, I think Tanak or Tantek is Katie. I think you said that you're Katie as well. But maybe the community can start a trend of the blue dachshund of happiness instead of the bluebird of happiness. And I like that. I think that's so fun. So, what is the most expensive dachshund piece in your collection? Probably, not that the dogs are a collection, but you do care for them. Well, their vet bills are high, but as far as a physical item goes,
a physical item, probably the Wienermobile. I think that's, yeah, the Wienermobile.
that is just such an amazing piece that you found. And I think Dawn might be frozen on my end, so I'm sorry about that, folks.
Sorry.
Oh no, Dawn, back. We're back. That's great. I love seeing that lighted sign in the background. It's the perfect backdrop for all of your videos. So I know a lot of people are really interested in helping the Just One More Dachshund Rescue, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about what we're doing with Patrick, I believe sometime in November. So can you talk about the fundraiser just a little bit?
Sure. So we haven't picked a date yet, but it'll be probably a Thursday in November. And last year what we did is people donated different items, not necessarily dachshund or dog, but different items to Patrick. And then he did an online sale of the items. We did the mystery boxes that Katie mentioned. Some of the resellers and customers of Patrick's donated boxes with mystery items in them. And then we sold raffle tickets. And then we had one grand prize winner who I think won 36 mystery boxes. So that was kind of neat. So I think we'll probably do something like that again. And I don't know what else Patrick has planned, but should be fun.
I hope we can make it to that $5,000, and I know that we will. Our community can rally and definitely help. Yes, do not miss the fundraiser, Carrie is saying. So if people want to donate and help now in advance before the fundraiser, what are some ways that they can help the Just One More Dachshund Rescue?
Well, on the website, which is jomdr.org, there's a link to Amazon. So I've got a wish list on Amazon. You can also sign up for Amazon Smile, which Amazon does. It works with different nonprofits. You choose a nonprofit, and then a portion of many of the items that Amazon sells will go to the rescue. So it doesn't cost you anything. So I have like everything I order from Amazon the rescue gets a portion of it. I've got a PayPal where you can donate. On the website, there's a t-shirt store. So I've designed probably 20 different rescue shirts. We've got sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops, baseball shirts with different designs on them. So a portion of that goes to the rescue. And I think that's it.
Those are all wonderful ways to help folks. And I have dropped the link to Dawn's website, the jomdr.org, down below in the description box. So after this video post, definitely go check that out and help in any way you can. And stay tuned for the fundraiser coming up with Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, who's in the chat, because that is going to be a lot of fun. and it benefits the dogs. And we got to help those little doggies. They definitely need all of our help and support and care.
And we'll be featuring lots of dogs too. That during the fundraiser, I'll be showing lots of dachshunds.
Which
Yeah,
is so wonderful because I love seeing them all. They're so cute.
it's fun.
Sherman, I love all the dogs you've shown, but I think Sherman is probably my favorite. He's just dark.
Everybody loves Sherman. Yeah, everyone loves Sherman. He's sleeping in a bed next to me with Penny, the little white deaf one.
Now, do most of them like to snuggle up together?
Oh yes, yeah. Sometimes 5 or 6 of them will get in a dog bed, and it looks like they're in like a lifeboat. In this, there's
Oh,
like legs hanging off, but they're all snuggled together.
oh, that's so sweet. I think they just maybe need to feel that warmth and
Yeah.
community together.
Can I
Now,
show you one more? Can I show you one more dog?
absolutely,
Okay,
Dawn. We
I'll be
would
right
love
back.
to see
Okay.
more dogs. I just love Dawn's dogs. They are so cute. I mean, who does not love dogs? I think that my heart melts every time I see them. It is so great having you guys tuning in this evening. And if you guys again have any questions for Dawn, please feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll highlight it here. And oh, who do we have here, Dawn?
So this is Guinness. He's got a
Oh,
tooth issue too, so he's got a little bit of a snaggle tooth. Guinness is about 18 years old, and last year, right around this time, when it was hot in July, a man who was going through a difficult time dumped Guinness and a senior Shiba Inu in the woods nearby, and it was caught on someone's camera, a trail camera. So um, people actually picked up Guinness, and then they set a trap to get the Shiba Inu, and they caught her. And so they went to a shelter in a neighboring county, and I had seen on Facebook that someone had picked Guinness up. So I reached out to the shelter and said, if the dachshund comes to you, I would love to bring him into the rescue. So I didn't hear anything. And about 2 weeks later, they reached out to me and they said that they had both dogs, but they wanted them to go together. So last year, we rescued a Shiba Inu and Guinness. And Guinness is, like I said, he's older. He's about 18, so he's a sanctuary dog. The Shiba Inu, I think she was around 10. She had some mammary tumors. So we got those removed, got that taken care of, and she's been adopted. So we're coming up on a year, and she's got a vet appointment at the end of this month. We're going to just double check, make sure none of the tumors have come back. But she's in a really good home. But this is Guinness,
oh.
sweetie.
Yeah, this is so sweet. I love this coloring. Now, is he considered a long-haired dachshund? Because he's got some of
He's,
that on his
yeah,
ears.
he's a long hair. He's got a feather too. My groomer puts feathers in the long haired's ears. So he's got a little feather.
And the feathers, are they to help identify the dogs or
No,
just
it's
because
just as
fun?
fun. Yeah, just fun. She does at Christmas time. She'll do red and green. 4th of July, she did red and blue on some of them. So just fun.
Now, do the long-haired dachshunds need to be trimmed with scissors, like
Um,
haircuts?
it depends. I've got so he's a little bit fluffier, so he gets knots a little bit more frequently. But then I've got a couple of long hairs that have real fine hair, and it doesn't really need to be trimmed. So it just depends on the type of the coat. But like when he gets wet, his hair gets real like kinky kind of.
Oh, he's just so cute, and he's being such a good boy.
He's good. Now, if I had food, he would be very vocal. He gets very, very loud at mealtime.
I'm sure they do. Now, how do you feed all of your dogs at once? Because I would imagine that they all want to eat each other's food.
So I feed the puppies they have what I call their playroom. They're in my den. So they get fed in there. And then I guess probably 6 or 7 I feed in the kitchen. The older ones that eat a little bit slower. And then everyone else eats in my foyer. And they each I feed each one in their own spot. So they go to where their bowl goes, and they know, and they don't try to eat anybody else's. They wait till I bring them their bowl. I feed them in the same order. So I usually go from oldest to youngest, and they're good.
That is amazing because I know Louie being a pug and the fact that she loves food, no matter how well trained she was, would probably not obey any order or anything. She would just gobble up all the food that was there. Now, how old did you say Guinness was?
He's about 18.
18 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. And he's one that's in your personal care.
He's so he's from the rescue. He's what I call a sanctuary dog because, I rescued him when he was 17, and like I said, it's really hard to find people to take older dogs like that. So he will have a home with me for as long as he lives.
That is wonderful. Now, my area has a senior pug rescue, and it is really amazing what they do. And I know that it's hard to adopt some of those senior pugs. Now, you said that your family had dachshunds growing up. How did they get started into the whole dachshund breed?
I don't know. I know my mom had a dachshund growing up, and my dad, they had dachshunds. He lived on a farm, and they had dachshunds there. So I don't know. It's in our blood.
Now, Proud American saying that she's a fashionista with her little tag on. I love that little feather. It's so cute. Well, Don, do you have any more dogs to show or any of your own dachshund collections that you want to share?
Let me see. I'm going to put him down.
Goodness.
A picture that I want to show you that I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Is there glare?
No, it's perfect. Oh, now there's right there.
Good. So I found this in Paris. So it was at like a I can't remember what they're called, but they would sell newspapers and magazines, and then they had this photo, and I just thought it was kind of neat because it's got the dachshund in the wheelchair, and when dachshunds become paralyzed, this is what you do: you put them in a cart. So I just thought it was kind of neat.
Wow, and look how the style of the woman's dress is. This definitely can't be a newer photograph.
It says 1977 on it, but I actually lived there in 1976 and 77, and this looks older. To me, this looks like the 50s.
To me, that looks very 50s.
Yeah.
Now, that's amazing that you lived in Paris. What did you get to do while you were in Paris?
Well, I was young. Well, I was 11 and 12. So my dad got transferred there. And actually, I didn't want to move there because I didn't speak French. And I had to leave my dachshund behind. But after we got there, my parents surprised me one day, and they got me a little long-haired dachshund who I named Pierre. So when I would come home from school, I would take Pierre to the bakery to get bread and French bread. And because you can take, there you can take your dogs in the grocery store and the restaurants, and take them everywhere. So it was the most amazing experience. And I've been back a few times, and I would love to live there again. It was just great.
And did you learn any French while you were there?
Yeah, I took French from 6th grade. Gosh, probably through college. I took at least 10 years of French, but I can understand it better now than speaking it, just because I don't use it anymore.
And that's hard. I took 4 years of Spanish, and you would think that I would know more, but I don't now. I can pick out words, but I cannot have a full conversation. And every dialect's a little different too.
Yeah. I mean, I went back most recently, I think was 2018, and I did pretty well. I mean, like I said, I can understand it better than speak it, but did pretty well.
Here, a lot of people don't bring their dogs places because they're not allowed. And I really love the book Martha's Calling. I don't know if you've ever read that book, but I read it all the time as I was a kid. And it was a story about a family that was going on vacation, and of course the hotel wouldn't let them bring their dog, so they decided to dress her up like their elderly grandmother. And so the dogs got the big hat and the big, dress on, and they sneaked the dog into the hotel. Of course, Martha in the book can talk, so she orders, all this food from room service. It's just so great. And at the end of the story, the hotel falls in love with the dog, and they end up making it a staycation for dogs. And Martha ends up running the hotel. But anyway, it's a wonderful book. And I love that idea that other countries just have dogs just going everywhere with.
And they treat them like family. I love that.
I love that. Yeah, I really think that's fantastic. Well, Don, we're coming up to the top of the hour here, and it was just so much fun having you on tonight and seeing your dogs.
Fun.
And your wonderful collection. And guys, please go support Just One More Dachshund Rescue. The link to the jomdr.org will be down below in the description box. So definitely go click on that link after this post and help out in any way you can. And then, of course, stay tuned for the fundraiser coming up with Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Don, for being on tonight. Oh, and we got one more question before the show ends tonight. Helen saying, who stays with the dogs when you go on vacation?
That's a good question. I used to have a wonderful dog sitter, but she moved about an hour and a half away, and she's got dogs of her own now. So I actually haven't been on vacation since before COVID. And last time I went to visit my family in Illinois was Christmas 2019. I took 17 dogs with me. So my dad and my stepmom and my mom are very understanding with my obsession with the dogs, and I try not to overstay my welcome. But I'm actually going to a wedding in Pennsylvania in August. So one of the techs at my vet is going to stay here. So.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And then I got tickets to see Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. So I'll be going to New York to see him. And so she'll stay then too. So hopefully that'll go well, and I'll have a new dog sitter.
Oh, that is so wonderful. And it is hard finding people to take care of your animals.
And it's, when you've got as many as I do, I mean, sometimes I get overwhelmed. So I'll have her come a few times beforehand just to get used to the dogs and learn their routine and stuff. So.
And I'm sure it's hard because several dogs probably need medications and
a few do.
That's complicated.
I'll see if some of my friends maybe will take one or two to so it won't be so much of a burden on the dog sitter.
Yes, and I have a guinea pig too. And when I go out of town, guinea pigs require so much care that I actually take them to a place that just sees exotic pets. I'm very lucky that I have that in town and that they can take care of Mr. Otto while I'm gone. And yes, Peterson, Bruce Springsteen is very cool. I saw a few years ago, I don't know if they still have it, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had an exhibit on Bruce Springsteen. And I don't know if it was just there temporarily, but they had a whole special third level floor for Bruce Springsteen, and it was amazing.
I've heard about that.
So if you ever get a chance to go do that, I highly, highly recommend it if you love Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, I've loved him since I was in, I think, 5th grade. I lived in New Jersey, so country.
Absolutely. Well, Don, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Guys, thank you all for being here. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Don, what is coming up next for you, and where can folks find you besides the website?
So next Wednesday, actually, there's an online fundraiser for me. It's a bingo, or not a bingo. Is it a bingo? A quarter auction. It's an auction. So it's kind of hard to explain, but if anyone's interested, just send me a message and I'll send you the link to it. But it's different, like Tupperware, Longaberger, those kind of vendors have items that you bid on, and then somebody wins, and then some of the money goes to the rescue. So.
Oh, that is fantastic. And I really do hope that goes well for you, Dawn. So
Thank you.
definitely check that out, folks. And yes, thank you so much for sharing your fur babies.
You're welcome.
They were just darling. Oh my gosh, I want to just hug them all. They're so cute. Well, guys, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, I'm going to have Barb from Winking Owl Antiques on the show, showing her Ruston Santa collection. So tune back in for that. And I'll see you, as always, for my regular Friday vinyl video coming out on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, I'll be seeing you in the chats and on Instagram at vintage_and_vinyl. And I hope, as always, you guys will stay in, stay safe, and bend YouTube. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.